when the issues of Liberia hit the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora's Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
It is social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blend the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities,
And speak the truth on what is happening.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. When the issues of Liberia hit the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora's Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
It is social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blend the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
And speak the truth on what is happening.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. Well. It's another fascinating presentation here of the program Diaspora Talk on Liberia's premier online television, KMTV. My name is Cyrus McGee, welcoming you to this edition of the show. And my colleague Nathan Charles is already here. Together, we're going to be bringing you this Friday's edition. It's the third edition since we bounced back, and I know it's been a wonderful one. Let me say welcome to you, Nathan.
Welcome to you, Cyrus, and welcome to our many viewers and those who are also sharing this live.
Yes, so if you are there, I said to you, share the stream wherever you find yourself. Just share in these various groups and different pages you want to share on. You can do that. On this edition, we have a couple of issues on to talk about, the hot topics, and I know there are a lot happening there, and we can just wait to jump into that.
Yes, every day in Liberia, there is something new. So we are here to educate you, give you updates on happenings from Liberia. So this is the Diaspora Talk.
So if you're there today, we'll be looking at a couple of issues. We know President Weah has left the country for the United Nations General Assembly. That is
In the US.
That's going to be taking place in the United States at New York, precisely. The long last General Assembly is taking place in New York. I understand President Weah is to speak at the General Assembly on the 22nd of September, where he will present to the world body Liberia during the last 1 year. And also on our plates today, there are startling revelations coming from Mosorado County District Number 4 Representative Rosalind Swakoko Dennis. You know, she's been one person who's been pushing for the Prince Johnson University in Nimba County, the university constructed by Nimba Senator Prince Johnson, not to carry the name of the Nimba senator on grounds that he played a gruesome role in the Liberian civil crisis, and a university or institution of learning should not carry his name. She's saying that it does not send positive signal out for students that will be graduating from this university. We're also going to be looking at the big news that is trending since yesterday. SN Brussels, the only international flight to Liberia, has suspended its operations to Liberia. on grounds that the navigation system of the RRA is not working. Over the last 3 months, they've been using their own navigation system, and they're saying that this is posing serious risks to their airline operation in Liberia and their crew. So they suspended their flights to Liberia. We understand there are some things that are taking place behind the scene by the government as it relates to making sure that the operation of SN Brussels flying to Liberia will not be suspended for a long time. We've been trying to get to Information Minister Ledger Hureni. He's not yet responding to our calls. I know he messaged to find out who is this. We told him who was trying to reach him, but he's not yet responding. We'll keep trying to see whether we can get government's official position as it relates to this. And one other issue we meant to talk about,
The Senate.
The Liberian Senate has just closed. The Senate closed its special session. As you know, by law, they were closed, but then President Weah ordered them or asked them to convene a special session to talk about some serious legislation. We will be looking at that. Also, the confirmation hearing of the Chief Justice Designate, they also dealt with that during their special session. So we will bring you a video of Senate Pro Tem Albert Cheer talking about the overview of this special session, right? And then seriously, we will have with us, joining us, the fiery Randy Dapo of the Randy Dapo Show. He's going to be joining us on the opening session here to talk about some of these trending national issues. Going forward, Randy will be joining us when he can to talk about national issues as our panelists. Like we said in our last presentation, we are looking forward to, branding a team that will discuss the issues as they unfold nationally, a balanced team. And Randy is one of those that will be joining us. So let's take this very quick break. When we come back, we jump into the issues. But if you are there, I'd like to say to you all, share the video, invite somebody to join us on this edition of Diaspora Talk. Let's take this break and be right back.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora's Talk is back on your screens on KMTV. In fact, the United Party is not cohesive. It's social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blend the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
And speak the truth on what is happening.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
And I tell you, we are thankful to the Park Liquor Store here, or the Park Liquor Outlet in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, who is sponsoring this program, Diaspora Talk, and we will invite all of you, business people out there, organizations and groupings that would like to tell the public or like to let us to, publicize what you're doing. That you can always join us. You can sponsor our program, and guess what? We let the public know exactly what you're into. So Nathan, I know joining us later on will be the mayor of the city of Brooklyn Center, Mayor Michael Elliott, the first Liberian to serve as mayor of the city. He's been there for the last 4 years, and he's seeking re-election. He will join us to tell us about his re-election bid as well. But as we start up, let's see whether we can play you this video of President George Weah departing the country this morning or today, earlier today, for the UN General Assembly. Let's see what we can bring you this. So as you saw it right there, President Weah has led the country for the United Nations General Assembly. Nathan, I know you watched that earlier on, and there are a lot that is cooking as it relates to this UN General Assembly, and the president is out of the country already to attend this General Assembly. What is so much out there? What are you hearing? What are some of the talks around town?
This is very important for every country because the UN General Assembly is when world leaders, stakeholders meet together and discuss issues of relevance and put forth suggestions, lobby for aid to go to the country. So it is when each country is given that moment, even if 5 minutes in different section or 45 minutes to discuss or to tell the world progress you have made and the gains you have maintained. So this General Assembly opened on Tuesday the 13th of this month, and it's going to last until the 27th of this month. But the high level general debate, right, starts on the 20th of this month, and President George Weah and his team of officials coming to the U.S. not only meeting with United States citizens, but meeting with people from different countries. You're going to be interacting with world leaders, right? Different grouping. It is that moment people lobby, right, and put forth issues that they want to happen in the country. You're looking at the issue of I got a family planning, right? UNFP is in Liberia. It is there to go into put forth the issue of rape, sexual assault, gender balance. So these are things that are going to be discussed at the General Assembly, and he's going to tell the world what has he done as a president since taking over from President Johnson Sirleaf. What has he done so far? And you know that the United States, coming to the United States, he will not only be discussing at that General Assembly, there will also be sub pocket meetings. He'll be meeting with other diplomatic nations. How can he strengthen his relationship with the U.S. government? You and I know that that's a big issue, right? The issue of good governance, the issue of corruption, the issue of security. So George Weah will be putting forth these issues to the world leaders, to the U.S. government, to other partners, in terms of, I'm sure he's very excited, coming to stand on the world stage once again and discuss the issues concerning Liberia.
And this is not his first address to the United Nations General Assembly. As you know, he talked about youth empowerment before, job creation, the rule of law, the issue of the fight against corruption. So, like you put it, these are things that will be his focus. And a lot of people will be listening to hear what will President Weah said about job creation over the last 1 year. What will President Weah say about the issue of infrastructure development, the fight against corruption. So there are a lot, like you put it, tied into this address, and it's coming on the back of his the resignation of three of his close officials. His Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Natalia Bagale, his managing director of the National Port Authority, Bill Twawe, the chief prosecutor of Liberia, the Solicitor General, Sima Serena Cephas. With all of these things playing, a lot of people believe that the president has been under pressure since the U.S. came up with this entire report and sanction on these three officials. So people be looking at what would President Weah said about this, what would President Weah said about job creation, youth empowerment, and all of these things. So, folks, that's it right there. President Weah hit the scene of the General Assembly of the United Nations this week. He just left Liberia. We don't know what he's going to make it directly to the U.S. I've been trying to get with us the presidential press secretary or deputy press secretary. He promised to join us today, but up to present, he's not responding. We don't know yet who are those on the delegation with the president. We don't know who are those that came along with the advance team. We just got words of message of the appointment of a new U.S. ambassador, Liberian ambassador to the U.S. So, and the name is not very strange, but it was not something that people expected to come up soon. Do you think so?
Well, appointment with the president comes with surprises sometimes. Their in-house lobbying, who do what performance review is also conducted. So as a diplomat and ambassador, it is your duty. You have a term of reference. So the president feels that, hey, you're not meeting the target. Looking at the situation of the U.S. and Liberia, there have been a lot of issues. Because as an ambassador, you represent the president, right? You saw other ambassadors were recalled because they were not performing. Usually when the president want to fire you, they just say they recall you.
You are recalled.
Also,
a smart way of saying you fire. You don't have a reassignment. So what prompted the recalling of Ambassador George Patton, the outgoing Liberian ambassador to the U.S.? That is not known yet. Like you put it, the president has the prerogative to appoint and recall or dismiss. The executive ambassador website did not say the ambassador was dismissed, but diplomatically he was recalled. That is, thank you for your service. You can now come back home, and this person is going to replace you to continue the work of Liberia in the United States. But of recent, we've not heard a lot as it relates to the working of Ambassador Patton.
It's all boiled down to public relations. Some working within a diplomatic setting, there are buttons you have to press, right? Some people, they are vocal in saying everything they did or they will do, but some in a diplomatic setting, some believe chain of command. So I'm sure that he did some issues, he did some things in terms of uniting the Liberian people, advocating for them, the issue of passports, making sure Liberian, rights are protected, because he's assigned to Canada and
Mexico.
So there are a whole lot of things involved there. So we're going to also look at his performance, probably try to invite him on the show to go over question on things that he did, right, or gains he made and places that he fell short. But serving as the U.S. ambassador is key. As you know, Liberia is still recovering, creating that image, right? Restoring that image and having President Weah, you and I know that he needs these people who will also press some button in the diplomatic setting. How can they attract investors to the country? How can they talk about job creation? Liberia image abroad since President Salif left, it has been terrible. Issue of corruption. And, so every government needs to build that diplomatic ties.
So that's a big thing, the diplomatic ties. Like America is Liberia's biggest partner. In fact, Liberia is termed as the stepchild of America. So having an ambassador here that is forceful, that knows the workings of Washington, is an important thing. But like I said, we don't know yet, and we cannot speak to yet why he was recalled. That is Ambassador Patton. And we'll also be looking at the new ambassador, what he brings to the table as it relates to, his working out there, whether he's fluent in the diplomatic sector.
He worked in Kuwait.
He was ambassador to Kuwait. I don't know a lot about him. I don't want to sit here and lie.
So what the
what the executive management said about him, I think you would like to touch that.
Say he's hold a Master of Science degree from Master of Science degree in Organization Leadership from the NYSC at New York University, College in New York. He earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from the famous Capitol Hill University of Liberia. So he knows about Liberian politics. He says he's a career diplomat who served at several positions in London, New York, Washington, D.C., Paris, and his current assignment as ambassador to Kuwait. So Jeff has been serving in a lot of capacity. So we hope that, but what was amazing, I started research about him, not much. I saw about him on the internet. So we hope that he will bring.
And what's funny is that you I know you don't want to say it, but I will say it all right. What's funny is the fact that, we tried to look for the guy's picture yesterday, the new ambassador. And to my utmost surprise, later, we could have found a lot of photos of him. Yeah. There is one photo. I don't want to pull that. There is one photo of Google that is even shadow. It's not even clear. We try to search Facebook. A lot of time you will see these people with their official Facebook, pages all there, but you don't see anything much.
The website. I went down to the Kuwait website. I was like, "What's going on?
What's going on? Who is he?" But like we put it, we will keep following and ask the tough question: what did President Weah see in him, or those that record? Because we know the president doesn't just appoint. Sometimes these appointments come from close friends to the president or friends of these people that have worked with the president and all of that. To say, Mr. President, this is Nathan Charles. I believe he can do a good work at the Liberian embassy in Washington. He's a career diplomat, or the president don't know everybody he appoints, but I know that the office of the president will always want to bring in somebody who they know, their appointment to that position is going to make a huge mark, a huge hallmark. So Randy is joining us. Randy, are you getting us? I think you're trying to position yourself. Sorry for catching you off guard. Yeah. Are you getting us there?
Yes. How is the camera screen? Is it okay for you guys?
Yeah, it's very, very, very normal G in my Basa language. As a matter of fact,
trust me.
You see me wearing this morning my Grand Bassa County jersey. Yeah. So is very normal G in the Bassa language, and let's see whether we can make some quick adjustment here, folks. Sorry, we're still getting all the bits and pieces together. Making sure that we can have teams here and fully on par. Randy, we're just on the appointment of the new ambassador to the U.S. Ambassador George Patton has been recalled. Up to press time, we don't know, what led to the president's decision to recall Ambassador Patton. We know it's at the will and pleasure of the president to appoint, dismiss, or recall, as the diplomats may term it. We don't know yet. We hope to follow up with Ambassador Patton, his achievements, what he's been doing when as he's leaving off the Liberian mission here in Washington. What are some of those things he's leaving off on the decks of the new ambassador? But until then, I don't know whether you heard about that or you want to chime in a little bit on that as we welcome you to the Diaspora Tour.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's always a pleasure to be here. I'm very lucky to be here at this time. And I hope I will always get lucky to be here every Friday and join you guys, and even during the course of the remaining days that you guys have. This is a very news flash for me. And I will also say that I did not see that coming, for the mere fact that we have not had any issue in regards to the ambassador, like seeing something that he has done in the past, and we can say, you know what, this will happen and stuff like that. So It was just a passive decision. Maybe it might be something internal that we are not aware of, but we hope that the Minister of Foreign Affairs will provide detail to the public, because we deserve to know why, an individual who has been confirmed and sent to the U.S., we don't know what he has done over here, but all of a sudden, the Liberian will say he has been recalled. So that's where I think I will leave it, but we should continue to ask his boss and the government as part of their constitutional responsibility to keep up to breast.
So yeah, so as like you put it, as we leave it, but I would like to know from you. We're bringing you on to the diaspora talk. What is it like joining the team?
Say that again. I didn't catch that.
Coming on to the diaspora talk. What is it like for you joining the team?
Well, I think it's an opportunity to meet another set of audience, because nowadays the social media has divided and conquered the different audience on the social network. So I think it's another game for me to be on such a terrific page with this group, and I think my presence here wouldn't be an access, but I think we will participate in inter-knowledge exchange, where you guys, the audience out there, we both can learn from each other. And I think from the education and the awareness side, knowing KMTV, being in the vanguard for a very long time, I feel very privileged to be here, and whatever policy, guidelines, written instructional, SOP, I'm looking forward to follow these things.
No, but let me say to you and to our folks out there, I know we're still vetting a number of people that want to join us on the program.
Yes,
we're going to open it up to people from different areas, different political views, different, different orientation and all that. But it's not about the command, but we believe in professionalism.
Correct.
We come from a school of thought where we rose to the hands of veterans in the media. Some of us came from high school broadcasting into national journalism, and we want to keep the tenets of professionalism. I will play a short video just before we leave the show of the late Prof. Philip Wisset. Even recently when he was honored, before he died, he said that he wants journalists to always wake up being a journalist. That is, when you cannot tell somebody you die, and then the man said, no, I did not die, or I'm not there. Then you say, no, I stand by my story. I say you die. When I say you die, you die. So we want a platform where we can all fire when the firing points come. Absolutely. But we can fire with objectivity, with respect for one another. Fire knowing that the public depend on us as an institution to feed them with the best. So we're bringing you on. We expect that of you, like we talked before, and other panelists or would-be panelists. That's exactly what we're saying today. I know, Nathan, you want to say something about this as well.
Well, this is a team, and we just hold up to our ethical standard. And because we owe it to our audience. That's all.
Okay. So quickly, Randy, I know you joined us in the middle of everything, but there is this trending and heart-touching revelation from Montserrat County District Number 4 Representative Rosalind Swakoko Dennis. She been tough talking, and recently she opposed the name Prince Johnson University given to the university established in Nema County by Senior Senator Prince Johnson. There was an act establishing that was passed by the House. She did a motion for reconsideration on grounds that the institution should not carry the name of Senator Johnson. And according to her, she's been receiving a lot of threats and so forth from the Nema County Senator. And these are startling revelations. We want to play the video and see whether we can chime in on that a little bit. But let's see whether we can bring Representative Rosalind Swakoko Dennis. And
I don't support the bill. I must keep quiet or I abstain from the bill. He said you got to support, you keep quiet, or you abstain. Quantitative failure to do that, you are going to feel my wrath. And I was just very blessed to have escaped Prince Johnson's wrath, because he could have killed me right in his house, and there will be controversy in the media. I know there are some people who want to doubt it. They want to see me dead first before they believe it. But I have the text message. The Supreme Justice said it to me. He said, you either keep quiet, you support the bill, or you abstain, or else. That's it.
I guess you in the know that this is a grave allegation, and he's a senator. Best part, you two are a lawmaker. You are entitled to all of the freedom you need to move around. I'm concerned. You said 7 of you voted against. Why is it only Representative Rosalind Dennis? Why do you think so?
Because I'm the proponent. I interposed the objection, and I tried to convince the whole House on Thursday. Everybody agreed. When this call came to intimidate lawmakers, as usual, and everybody, because of fear, nobody can do what they're supposed to do. But there were 7 persons who saw it that they will not betray the country no matter what it comes. So I was the one who interposed the objection. I am like the whistleblower for accountability of past crimes and human rights abuse. And maybe you are a new journalist.
Have you informed the police?
Well, on this situation, I just informed the House. I informed some other relevant entity. I choose not to inform the police, and I'm going to state why in my left.
Why did you choose not to inform the police?
I informed the police first when my life was threatened. They went at the house, they did the analysis, and they said, yes, indeed, someone was after my life. They did not do anything. When I raised the first alarm, which it was actually true that we all had all of those meetings, and like the entire government was there, the police promised to give me security that same day.
So let's jump back into it. Brandy, are you getting us?
Yes, and I did understand everything she mentioned there.
Yeah, so this coming true, especially with a female lawmaker, though an opposition lawmaker. Let us look at it briefly. I know we have the mayor of the city of Brooklyn Center here of us. He'll be joining us very shortly on the show.
Yeah.
But chime in, what do you think about this coming up?
Well, firstly, I would like to say I hope she's safe, because the paramount concern for every Liberian on our constitution is to be safe. And yeah, much we saw her yesterday, and I'm hoping that we have not heard anything bad news. I think where she is, she's also safe for the day. But I would like to understand, why is she being targeted? And if you look at the timeline of most of the time she comes on, I remember she made an allegation against the president, Mr. Weah, as targeting her. And whatever happened, we didn't get a closure from her. She didn't come back to tell us whether things have been resolved. The executive branch did not say anything, and everything just naturally died off by itself. Now she's resurfacing again, bringing out an issue with Mr. Johnson University that have been legislated by law to create. Even though she said the name of him based on her past doesn't represent that university. I mean, in the public opinion, as a lawmaker, she can push her agenda as to what she wants done. But if the majority overrule, I don't think there should be a problem. Even in the United States here, there were times that some judges at the Supreme Court were being pushed back by many lawmakers in the United States. Still, they got confirmed during the Trump administration. And I don't think
But and still, a lawmaker not voting for a particular legislation doesn't mean that they don't have a dissenting opinion. You know,
exactly.
You can get out of there not voting, call the press and express your dissenting opinion and why you decided not to vote for such legislation. But I think the fear there is that after voicing it out, she's allegedly receiving these text messages from Senator Johnson.
And I like the way you quantify allegedly, because they say alleged was used against the president. Now it is being used against Senator Johnson. So I think it's incumbent upon Senator Johnson to come out and, like she said in her press conference yesterday, which I would call information dissemination conference, she said she has some messages that were sent. So I think it will be incumbent in the spirit of fairness, as she mentioned, she will make that public so that you guys on here and ourselves, we can discuss this thing across the media and see how we can look at things, because there are times that messages can be misrepresented, and and so one person may perceive it differently we out here with different analytical understanding of things may also perceive that. But the good thing is she's been very vocal, and I think that put her in a better situation. Everyone keeping eyes on her and praying for her. But I think Mr. Johnson himself need to come out and clear the air. And I think the Speaker of the House, who I see as the principal of the House, need to also speak on this issue, because for a lawmaker, most especially a female, and all the deaths that are taking place in the country, we have never had a perfect closure. And a female coming out, we are talking about female, gender equality in our country and across the world. The president is on his way to the United Nations. There is a 10 sustainable development goal that has to do with female equality or gender equality. So such a thing should be on his agenda. Nowadays, social media travel faster than the speed of light. The president may be on his way here, but people already know what's going on. The U.S. Embassy is down there monitoring what's happening down there. So I think it's incumbent upon every party in our structure of government, including the fourth estates, we sitting here, need to make sure that we discuss this issue. My prayer for Ms. Rosalind is to be safe continuously. And like you said, she is also liberty to express any disagreement with whatever she feels, because that's why she was elected to do.
All right, Neto, I know you want to comment briefly on that before we go to the next the topic here for today.
Few issues. It is not because she's a female. Any view expressed in session, you cannot be held accountable for. She expressed her view as a lawmaker in session. Now, everyone knows that Prince Johnson is very much influential. He's a close ally to, a friend who supporter to the current president, George Weah. Security implication. Prince Johnson is an expert in security. He was a former warlord. Killed Liberia President Samuel Doe while zipping some beer. It is clear. So so this is a grave allegation.
And he needs to come up. He needs to come
It's not
up.
just coming out. If people accuse you insecurity, they go behind. Even in journalism, you go and investigate, analyze. You send me text. Can we verify if this is Prince Johnson number? We have Orange, we have Lone Star Cell Company, right? So it is not. Security need to be proactive.
But I think she's a lawmaker, so a representative can easily get the senator's number.
That's what I'm saying. So you need to verify if this is text key from Prince Johnson or just ordinary number. Have they been communicating before? So that's what I'm saying. It should not be taken lightly, right? To say that he's not Prince Johnson. That is not an ordinary person in Liberia. He knows about security and he knows how to get at people. If anyone will be harming Liberia, it should not be our Liberian citizen. We need to protect our people, our officers, our security apparatus should not just sit and wait until something happens. You listen to her, she says she's being jumping from house to house, from home to
she's
home.
Like sleeping on her home.
Even her daughter, she has to put
her somewhere else because she cannot keep her family at home.
The name involved, Prince Johnson, is not just an ordinary
and she did display a part of her where she was, where the ceiling was broken into, a door was broken through, and up to present she don't know the perpetrators who's doing this, and all she feels that probably it is Senator Johnson's people after her that she's alleging wants to kill her.
So it is both ways, right? They say when frog miss you. You see the tail of when snake miss you see the tail of a laser.
You want to run.
So is she really saying the truth, or is she just saying it out of maybe to gain sympathy? As you know, Prince Johnson was sanctioned by the U.S. government. I show the U.S. government, as our colleague said, Jay, is monitoring this thing very closely. Prince Johnson is not an ordinary person, but again, we need to validate her statement. Because if you analyze, I was analyzing her statement, there's something called contradiction. We start to look at these things, we look at the trend, then we start to investigate. So there's
more need to be placed on this. So as we go about, Randy, we hope we can dig deeper into these allegations, see whether we could get. I know it's very hard. We've tried to get Senator Josie. It's very hard reaching him, but we'll keep pushing.
We need to visit his church.
To probably send a reporter to visit his church on Sunday, and I will listen to his service, because when these things come up, Senator Johnson will use the pulpit, to address some of these things. So it won't be surprised on Sunday morning he's going to be preaching and reacting to her allegations. So that's one thing. Another trending issue in Liberia, Randy, this one I'm sure you've been following as well. The suspension, or the reported suspension, of Liberia's only international airlines that is flying to the country right now, Brussels, suspending its flight to Liberia. As you see on the screen there, if you're watching my functioning navigation system at RIA. Now it calls SN Brussels the only international flight from outside of Africa into Liberia is suspending its operations. What is it like for Liberians in a diaspora wanting to return home?
Well, first of all, I won't put Liberian, just one Liberian, but what is the safety of our investor into our country? I mean, a navigator system is almost like the nucleus operation. It's like your heart is not functioning in your body. That is a serious concern. But it just goes to show that this administration, guys, continue to downplay important component within the country. This issue of RIA being very dysfunctional is something that has been going on for a very long time. But the question here is, how well does this president understand what I would describe as critical infrastructure in our country? One thing the Department of Homeland Security has listed for us in this country here are institutions we call critical infrastructure. For example, the airport, the seaport, the medical institution, banks, and other places. In Liberia, the RIA is a critical infrastructure. It is a gateway to the economy. It is an area where we have many visitors, president, guests coming to that country, to that own airport. And to continue to hear, if it's not fuel issue, it's electricity. If it's not electricity, it is some type of piece of equipment that is dysfunctional. So I think, knowing what we know today, guys, airlines are no different from boat, cars that carry heavy insurance. Should in case something catastrophic happen over there, every passenger will sue that airline for the loss of their property or for their loved ones. So to reduce the risk, because they are looking at Liberia now, especially at the airport, to be a very risky place. Guys, we all went through what we call first-time driver. What happened to your insurance? Because you are a first-time driver, you risky, your insurance go up. If you live in a very bad neighborhood, your property insurance will go up. Now, if you take that and look at what is happening to Liberia right now, all right, that alone, from the risk management standpoint of those companies, they will inform everyone and every airline that that country is not safe to do business. So what does that tell the world about us? That we just have people who are not serious in our country.
And that brings to forth the need for a lot to be done. We understand that. I was listening to one of the lawmakers in person of Representative Gray talking about the issue of electricity being solved at the RIA. But it's been 3 months since Brussels, raised this issue of navigation at the airport. If nothing been done so far. So with the pulling of Brussels or suspension of flight of Brussels, we understand there is a new appointment of an operation person, manager at the airport. Nita, you want to touch on that?
The first thing with this Brussels thing is embarrassing. It's a shame on the country. That will not cost you. I was just reviewing the cost of that. Satisfied to install around 10,000 of a country like Jay said, risks in insurance. There's something called peril. What lead to that risk? So for a country, you having just for us planning to land in Liberia, these people pay per hour. So it's not per hour just for your flight to remain there. That's why you see the camera away, they have to leave. You still having, that's not the only flight leaving, from that area. So just God, they gave them 3 months to repair that navigation system. And people need to take the job seriously. And those duty bearers, those who are in charge of this entity, they know that the people who are on the field, you need to check on them. Even the president himself needs to take some bull by the horn, ensure that these things are done. You can't be trusting these people. If you found out 1 or 2 times they are embarrassing you, it's not the first time. Other entity pulled up because the same thing. You and I know that we don't even have much Liberians going back to Liberia. These people are losing millions of dollars.
Sierra Leone would now start taking our passengers from Europe and then buy my ticket, go to Sierra Leone, drive to Monrovia, back to Sierra Leone, and leave for Europe or America. So the economic loss that will be incurred, I mean, we cannot sit and just say, all will happen like that. So Randy,
the person he appointed Akwe Sowigi as acting deputy managing director for technical services. So that's what.
So I mean, the appointment. I don't think the appointment should just be it, but what policies that will put into place that will be put into place to be different from what the previous person there was doing. So that's where it comes in. So I know we press with time, like Randy was recommending that we round up the hot topics and bring it on Sunday just to discuss them, maybe on a Sunday afternoon or the weekend. We're still looking at that. But Randy, I know you're driving. We want you to drive with care, please. Drive with care as you join us with care from your vehicle.
I'm just about to put in my last comment so that I can let you guys continue with that. But
okay,
what I would like to say as far as the appointment goes, and this is something that we on the Diaspora Talk will begin to engage going forward. As recent as a newly appointed operation manager, we need to know the man's work history. We need to understand what has been his background and what has he done that will relate to that job. Because here's the thing. Missing out on getting plane directly to RIA, we are losing money in our process. Now, bringing somebody on without knowing who that person's qualification is a waste of time, is a waste of energy, and it's a waste of resources if we don't understand who that person is. Because as the Pope says, we must discuss any aspiring appointees prior to them taking the position so that the public can get to know, because that is the primary responsibility of us out here. So I would suggest that this guy who has been appointed, and anyone, we must get to understand, because I think one of the victory we had was the guy who they sent it let go because he was not qualified for that position. Now they're bringing operation manager. The reason that guy was let go is because many of us, including myself, I went to that school, the man claimed he was pursuing a master, it wasn't true, and we published that. No hard feelings, but we don't want to bring people on board that will continue to embarrass our country. So I will leave it at that, guys.
All right, Randy, thank you so much. And we hope to hook up on the weekend of Monday to talk about some of the other hot issues that will, come up during the weekend and early next week. Thanks for joining us, and we wish you a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Are you driving to Liberia?
you late.
As a president.
No, guys. Have a good weekend too. Bye, guys.
All right, Randy Dapple right there joining us, from the East Coast. He's going to be one of those, joining us regularly to discuss the hot topics out of Liberia. We will take this very short break. When we come back on your screens, we will be welcoming the first ever Liberian to serve as mayor in the Liberian populated Brooklyn Center here in Minnesota. Mayor Michael Elliott, the man who was on the front lines during the heat of Dante Rice's death, will be here with us. He's up for re-election. So he's going to be telling us more about his re-election bid as we all wind up to November of this year. But let's take this break and we will be right back.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference. When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
the Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora's Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
We get social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Joan Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blend the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
And speak the truth on what is happening.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
proposals to make sure that the city is funding those priorities for young people. And so that's how I got involved with the city and decided to run for mayor when I saw that, look, we have this incredibly diverse city, but the city council didn't reflect it at the time. And we needed, I thought, leadership that could bring together the all the different people in our city and really help us put together a vision that's collective that can see the city grow in a way that everybody here can do well, right? So one of the ways we're doing that is in our economic development, we're insisting on making sure that the developers are developers from all the different backgrounds, that the types of buildings we build for businesses, people can afford. And, you know, in fact, we're building an international food village that's being led by a Liberian developer. Is massive. It really is amazing. It's going where the former Target building is now, across from the library. And it's going to be this massive indoor, beautiful mall that's going to have food from all around the world. And people can be in there selling their goods, have their shops. That's the kind of thing you need to support small businesses, individual business owners, so that they can grow their businesses right here in Brooklyn Center and do well for themselves and their family and for our community. In fact, that money circulates here 7 times. You know, when you have a local business here, the money stays here and it circulates 7 times before it leaves the community.
Into another community.
Yeah, but when you just spend your money at the Walmart, well, guess what? It doesn't circulate; it goes straight out.
And the more development you carry out in the city, it attract other cities' money.
Absolutely, that's right. We want people to come here. We want Brooklyn Center to be a destination, but a destination for the right reasons. We want it to be an attraction for the people who don't live in Brooklyn Center, but we also, first and foremost, want what we build to serve the people who live here.
All right, that's a very good one. What we build should also serve, the community, apart from just attracting other areas. And Nathan, I know you want to come in.
Yes, I know you are putting your heart in this race to represent the people of Brooklyn Center, but I'm concerned. Can you outline 2 major reforms you have made for citizens, for residents of Brooklyn Center, and what do you want to achieve again for the second term that you did not in your first tenure?
Yes, so we are in Brooklyn Center. That's a very good question. I appreciate that. We're leading the state and we're leading the nation when it comes to some very important reforms. So after Dante Wright was shot and killed here in Brooklyn Center, you all remember back in April of 2021, 3 weeks after that, put together a new public safety plan, and the city council passed it the 4th week. And it was an incredible pace to do reform. Some of the things that come out of that Public Safety Act are things that I think are going to make it really transformative to be able to live and drive in Brooklyn Center. One is our traffic stop policy. In fact, we have a new draft ordinance that's coming out of that law that's coming before the city council very soon. And that draft ordinance does a few things. Number one, it has a new approach to traffic stops. It says, don't pull people over for things like expired tabs, broken taillight or headlight, if one of them is out.
That led to dentist death.
Exactly. Or air freshener hanging on the rearview mirror, or tinted windows, or a loud muffler. There's several, or cracked windshield. These are all reasons that are used typically to stop people, but the research shows that it's not effective. And that those things don't actually cause any traffic issues. They don't. That's what the research shows. So we're spending a lot of time pulling people over when they're on their way to work or to school or to take their kids to the doctor, and we're wasting a lot of time, wasting a lot of resources. Now, that's one. Two is a ban on consent searches. If you've ever been stopped and the police asked you, can I search your car? Well, we're actually putting a ban to that so that the police cannot ask you if they can search your car any longer. Now, they have some probable cause reasons under the law that they think they should be able to search the car. The law allows them to do that. But sometimes they want you to volunteer to allow them to search your car. That we're putting a stop to. And again, the research shows that that is not an effective way to do law enforcement. And so these are important, very important changes that we're making. The other we're making also is a ban on no-knock warrants. If you know, remember Amir Locke in Minneapolis was shot and killed when the police burst into his apartment without knocking. Soon in the morning, it's like 6 in the morning or something like that. It's very early. And so we're putting it into that as well. The police, if they need to get a warrant, they have to get a warrant that allows them to knock and announce themselves before they enter into a place, especially somebody's home. The final thing we're making in terms of changes to public safety is, which I'm really excited about, is this community response team. So many of these calls we know come into 911, and it's not really a police call. In fact, the police did their own analysis and found that only 22% of the calls to 911 have anything to do with crime. The rest of it are things like, can you check on my mom? I haven't heard from her in a few days. Oh, there's some kids playing in the park. I think they look suspicious. What are they doing? Well, they're playing here and they look suspicious. What are they doing suspicious? Well, they look suspicious. Yes, they're playing. So those calls come in all the time. Or my neighbor's playing music. It's too loud. I don't like, so they call the police. So these are not law enforcement matters. These are not situations where you need somebody with a gun to show up. See? So,
and when these officers show up, they show up with their hands on the trigger.
Yes, even if it's at a party. And it's just that the music, they're there for the music. Show up with a gun on their hip. So it creates a unnecessarily tense situation.
What will replace that?
So that's where our new community response team comes in. So we have a new team that's going to have this mental health workers on it, social workers on it, conflict resolution professionals on it, and people who, more importantly, are from right here from our community, who represent all the different backgrounds in our city that can show up. So if it's music playing at a Liberian party, well, we want someone from that community to be able to show up and respond, or someone from the Hmong community to be able to respond. So people who understand the community and people who are local, right? And there, the resolution is, maybe you ask the people, can you please just lower the music a bit, right? It does not require police to show up. So, of course, if there's a situation that you need the police to go to, violent situation or something like that, but yeah, of course, they're the ones that are going to be sent. So these are some of the changes that we're making that are, I think, going to make our community safer. It's going to even make it better or easier for people to trust law enforcement. Of course, there's a lot of retraining that needs to happen there as well, and make sure that we're hiring the right people to do that job also.
So great legislation, if I put it that way, or laws being put in place by your city council. But I know what remains challenging is the fact that some of these laws are on the books, or they are, they've been passed, but yet still community members might not know what's changed. So what are you doing as a city to have an outreach that people get to know that I shouldn't be stopped for an expired tag? I had an encounter before with the police. For the first time, I was ever pulled over in the city of Brooklyn Park. It was because at the time the sticker, I had just moved to a new apartment. I never had the sticker, so I had like the visitor sticker hanging. The one that you just hang at the view mirror. And because of that, I was pulled over. And I never knew that at the time you don't have that hanging on your view mirror and driving the traffic. So the police wanted to know why I had it. So I think with the new law, that is also something that is hanging while you're driving. Now people don't know. What are you doing to educate your community?
So we have a community engagement specialist focused just on this work specifically, and on engaging community, educating the public, and giving them an opportunity for them to ask questions about it as well. So she's been coordinating various community conversations at churches, at barbershops, and we're going to continue to do more and more of that. Because if people don't know their rights, they can easily be violated. One of the other things we're doing is we have a data component to this. So we're saying, look, if you do stop someone, you have to document why you stopped them. You have to detail it so that we can then go back and have a good understanding.
Electronically.
Yes. Well, we're asking the police to do that, to document why they're stopping people, right? Because then we can go back and analyze the data and say, are these new laws actually being put into practice, right? Are they being followed? So we can be able to analyze that.
So that's in place. And I know these are far ones, like I put it earlier, and Mayor Elliott, and in the first term as mayor of Brooklyn Center. You talk about some achievements on your watch. I know you were in the firing squad during the death of Dante's, right? With all of these, why should the city trust you for a second term?
Well, we have done a lot of work, and we need to continue this work, and we need to continue to make sure it's fully implemented, and that we can monitor that it's actually being effective and make adjustments if we need to. Look, I'm the only person in this race that has shown that they're willing to lead on these very tough issues. And in fact, not only lead, but lead in a way that is truly transformative. And this is work that we've done together, not myself only, but with a coalition of people who have come together to make this work possible. We passed pretty important tenant protections. Many of our residents in Georgetown townhomes and Victoria townhomes, said, they were being put on these month-to-month leases and charged $150 on top of that.
More than the regular rent.
More than the regular rent. And the regular rent was already high. And they said, what can you do? And there were so many issues. So we put together a set of new laws to protect them. And in fact, the laws we put in place, one is a 30-day pre-eviction notice. So in almost any other city in the state of Minnesota, a landlord can just send somebody an eviction letter, say, we don't want you here anymore, but not in Brooklyn Center. In Brooklyn Center, they have to send a letter 30 days in advance saying 30 days from now, they might send the other letter. They might send the eviction letter, right? And the importance of that is that it gives people an opportunity to either move or find somebody to intervene or try to resolve the issue so it doesn't lead to an eviction.
Okay.
Because once an eviction is on somebody's record, it's very hard for them to find someplace else to rent. Minneapolis has a 30-day pre-eviction letter requirement. St. Louis Park has 14 days. We have 30 days. We're the only city with 30 days. So we passed that here in February in response to our community. Lufty Plum, she was one of the folks in Georgetown that organized her community. And they said, Mayor, we want to meet with you. And we met several times. And with the help of the attorneys, our city attorneys, and the Homeline attorneys, and Acer, in fact, organized the group. And with the leadership of Acer and Homeline and whatnot, we're able to put this law together and push and pass it here in Brooklyn Center. Just cause non-renewals. It means basically the landlord has to renew the lease. Unless there's a real justifiable reason under the law, they must also then renew the lease. They can't put people on month-to-month lease, right? So those are changes that we've made that have real consequence. When people tell you, they say, oh, I'm not going to vote, the election doesn't matter, or it's not going to make a difference, that lie.
Hey, the real, that lie, that one, that true.
That lie. Why do you think all these people out here running for office?
All right.
And when it's time to vote, why do you think some of these other people that we know go vote every single time? You see them. When I talk to some communities, I tell them, oh, don't forget to vote. They say, oh, I always vote. I voted every election since 1950. Yes.
Giving their people seat at the table.
Giving their own people the seat at the table. And if it was not going to make a difference, you think they were going to be doing that, voting every year since 1950? No. So when people try to convince us that the election don't matter and that our vote doesn't matter, it's not going to make a difference, that's part of their plan, is to get you to think your vote doesn't matter. So, so only their votes can count.
So how are you convincing people in your community, the immigrant community, and other Asian community, Caucasian community to turn up and vote? How are you going about doing that?
You know, right before I came here, I went to the Hmong school and talked to folks there as well. We're in the community talking to folks, raising the awareness of the election and the importance to get out there and vote. Look, the difference in the primary, I'll be honest, was just couple of hundred votes. We have enough people in our community to have far surpassed that. So it's so important. You know, people call me and they say, in fact, I have a member of our community called me and said, you know, my father back home is very ill and I need to go there. I need to go right away. Within 3 days, we were able to get her travel documents to go back to Liberia. And in fact, I even forgot about it. She saw me recently in the neighborhood, going door to door, talking to people, and she stopped me and reminded me of what we did, right? And in that case, we worked along with Senator Amy Klobuchar's office to get that done. And there are actually multiple stories like that, where because you have a representation at the table, you have access and you have the ability to we can do so much. There's so much more that we need to do in our community. But we have to vote. We have to vote. So that's the bottom line.
Challenge, getting people out to vote.
Yes, and you can vote because you have September 23rd all the way to November 8th. They make it really easy. It's not even a one-day thing. Any day of the week, starting next Friday, September 23rd, you can go to City Hall and vote.
Brooklyn Center City Hall.
Yes, you can go from 8 a.m. From 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Even on your lunch break, it takes 5 minutes when you get there, you're done voting. You can go there before work, you can go after work, you can pop in and cast your vote.
How fast is the
Monday
process?
through Friday?
Somebody may be thinking, oh, you know, I want to pass there quickly before I go.
5 minutes. And Liberians, 5 minutes too long. Just go.
5 minutes too long, you're done.
You're done. It's quicker than going to the grocery store. Yes. Even going to the gas station to pump gas. Go vote. It'll take you shorter time than that. Yeah, and do it before November 8th, because November 8th, then you got to stand in line to vote. Even that will not be too long.
Who they should be voting for?
Vote for me. I didn't want vote for me.
So all I've run for you there, let's put it in a little colloquy. All I've run for you there, you know, Mayor Michael Elliott has been in the vanguard helping the community. You hear him talk about some of the things he's achieved, and he wants to achieve more. Mayor Elliott, all of these things you talked about, what did it take you as not just a typical immigrant, but a Liberian to succeed in making sure that these legislations pass through city council meetings?
It took a lot. If I take off my hair, you'll see my gray hair.
You tell Obama small.
Plenty. Yeah, look, this is not easy work, because whenever you set out to make changes like this,
if I'm correct, you're the only Liberian on the council.
That's right. Yes. Except we got council member Marquita Butler.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's married to a Liberian.
A Liberian.
So
she's Liberian by extension.
She's Liberian.
A Liberian.
She's Liberian.
Okay, go ahead.
She can eat all the food you can eat. So, and she even live in Liberia.
There you go.
So, look, to do this is not easy, because you have to convince so many people to take a very what they might see as a very tough vote. Because if you want to change the housing laws, especially require the landlords to give 30-day pre-eviction notice, they're all going to come, all the property owners, and they're going to be calling all the other council members, leaning on them, telling them to not vote for this. So it's very, very tough. You have to mobilize. You have to convince the other council members. But more importantly, the community actually is the one that mobilizes and comes and says, we really need this. That is the thing that makes the real difference. The power is in the hands of the people. So when you mobilize and come, then somebody like me can be effective in pushing a law forward. And the landlords they're not sitting back. In fact, they have funded my opponent and the other council members that are running, and who knows what promises they made to them, right? So, sorry, if you give somebody almost $10,000,
seek your interest.
If one person give somebody $10,000 to run their campaign,
it's always a payback.
Exactly. So that's the situation we have right now. You have a landlord in Brooklyn Center that's done that.
They don't want that law.
They don't want that law, and they know that those people, if elected, are going to reverse it. That's why you have to also vote for Kagwanu.
Yeah,
Kagwanu, Dr. Segwanu daughter. She's running here.
Yeah,
Brooklyn Center.
We hope to talk to her. I know we talked to her also during the primary. She
Yes.
was out there doing the Liberians Independence Day celebration that you
Yes.
all attended.
Yes.
But
So vote for her because she's going to help protect these laws. This is very serious. To go vote is to get in your car and to take a few minutes to get to City Hall. Because Brooklyn Center, anywhere for Brooklyn Center, the City Hall is maybe like less than 5 minutes.
5 minutes too long.
Too long. And then when you get there's another 5, we're talking 10 minutes. By that time you finish, you're on your way back home. Go and cast your vote so you can vote for people who are going to protect your interests, protect your right, and even expand upon it.
All right.
So it's incredibly important. Again, people can start voting next week, Friday, September 23rd. They can start voting. And they give you all day to vote. Can you imagine? Monday through Friday in fact, next week, you start voting Friday, the next week, you can vote any day that next week, all the way to November 7th. You can vote any day at City Hall.
So now, later I know you will want to chime in, but with the issue of, I know you're encouraging people, this is one of the mentors or means you're going to use through our media and other media networks you speak to. What are you doing as it relates to outreach? I know you've been doing door knocking. You have the Christian community, the Muslim community, the Hmong community, the various, non-partisan, non-political.
Yes.
What's your campaign doing to reach the message out to these people?
Absolutely. we're speaking at churches, we're speaking at schools, we're going anywhere, we're knocking on every door in the city. We're also going to the apartments as well. And we're really out there trying to spread the message. But look, this campaign is not just it's not my campaign, it's our campaign. This is our community. In fact, I met 3 ladies earlier today, and they, within 2 minutes, they took t-shirts, campaign t-shirts, and they took stacks of the flyers, and they said, we are putting together our own team to go campaign.
Wow.
Because I'm just the face. I'm the face on the paper. I'm the name on the ballot. And of course, I am going to make sure that I fight for our community, but it's not my campaign. This isn't my office. This isn't my tenure. This is our tenure. This is our office. This is our campaign. Everything that we do together belongs to the community, right? So we need to work. All of us need to take ownership of the campaign, and we need to run the campaign. There's so many people out there. In fact, I don't even know where they're going or what they're doing, but they have the flyers. They're encouraging their friends. They're stopping to the store, passing it out. They're calling all their family members, making sure that they come out and vote in Brooklyn Center.
Bring their Oma and Papa them to vote too.
They're bringing all their Oma and Papa. In fact, the Oma and Papa them bringing them to vote.
Can you imagine that?
Yes. Yeah, the Oma and they have actually taken the campaign. Anywhere I go, they say, my son, we're going to go vote. We put you there, we will keep you there. We put you there, we're putting you back there.
So it means that you are getting financial support, because campaign is about money. So in terms of support, what can you say about mobilization?
We need people to contribute financially to the campaign because it's expensive, right?
And should have enough of money to run his campaign, man.
Oh, we need more money, to be honest, because when you start to run a campaign, either a campaign is a public endeavor. So really, it's individuals contributing.
How can
$5, $10.
How can they do that?
And we need contributions right now, to be honest with you.
All right, now
you
on the biggest Liberian platform.
Yes.
Somebody watching or listening to you now will want to know.
Yes.
I want to chip in my little nickel or dime to Mayor Elliott's campaign. How can they do it?
You can go. We make it very easy. Go to MikeElliott.com, MikeElliott.com, or just Google Mike Elliott. The website will come up. Go to MikeElliott.com and you'll see the donate button right at the top of the page. You can click that and make a donation online. Or if you want to do Cash App, should I tell them the Cash App?
No problem.
No problem.
we are all in this.
It's also for the landlords, right?
Our landlord, we're in a city. No, we're in a city. You are the landlord. So let's get to the Cash App. So those of you there, you want to donate to Mayor Elliott's campaign, he's going to announce his Cash App handle and number that you can just go on to donate your 1 cent, your 2 cent. You know, I don't think he has a limit as it relates to how much you can.
$600.
The limit, as high as 600 or as low as 600. Split it to two. Maybe do it 6 we don't go more than that. But you can do as high as 600. So he's trying to get that to make sure he can, announce it to you watching, our viewers or our listeners, as this is also live on KM Radio. Liberian owned online radio, a network arm of KMTV. So KM Radio is also running this live in the next 15 minutes. 10 minutes, not 15, 10 minutes, we will be wrapping it up. But Mayor Elliott is trying to see how best he can just pull Mayor, I think you gotta have a hand on. Yeah, have it on your hands so that somebody can see the shoe. Mayor, what is Cash App number? You got it already.
It coming.
Give it to them. Almost. So Mayor Mike Elliott, he's the city mayor of the city of Brooklyn Center, where KMTV sits right now. Our office is here in Brooklyn Center at 5901 Brooklyn Boulevard, Brooklyn Center. Come in and do your business with us. So while Mayor Elliott is putting that out, let's take this very, 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 very quick break with our sponsor, the Brooklyn, that's the Park Liquor Store. I don't want to say Brooklyn Park Liquor Store. The Park Liquor Store here. Let's bring you this one and we'll be right back.
Of Liberia, hear the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
The Diaspora Talk is here, and we are glad that Park Liquor Outlet, a Liberian-owned liquor store in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, is associated with us. We also like to announce that Infotech Computer Center in Brooklyn Park, also a Liberian-owned computer center where you do your repairs and purchase the latest in computer and technology. They also sponsoring this program, and also the Transcend Bible Church in Brooklyn Park is also proud to be associated with Diaspora Talk. So Mayor Elliott just sent us this is Mayor Mike Elliott, the $ Mayor Mike Elliott, MayorMikeEllROTT.
Not Major.
Mayor, Mayor.
Yeah.
Mikeellrott.
I think we can pull that out in a few minutes for our viewers to see what's the exact.
We will have it rolling up on our screen in a few minutes. So Mayor, you can continue just as we try to get that.
Yes.
Now, in a nutshell, if you are to encourage your people, I know we're wrapping up. If you are to leave a message in the ears of your people as you go on with this entire campaign leading up to November, what would that message be?
Well, it's simple. we, in the next term, for instance, we want to build a new center where we can play football inside year round. We want that new facility, and we also want this room to be able to make sure we have financial literacy classes for our young people. We want to educate them, want to help them develop the skills that they need so they can do well in society. That's going to be a multi-million-dollar project, and we want to build that here in Brooklyn Center. So our young people are not out moving around the street after school during the summer. They have some place to go, some place they can be fully engaged, and they can develop a new vision for their future, get assist in getting a job and things like that. So the things we want to do here, we want to make sure that we can be in a position to accomplish those things as a community. So what I would say is, if you believe that it's important to have leadership that considers the community and fights for the community and fights for people, and not necessarily fighting for the landlords and fighting for the financial interest, then vote for me and come out and make sure you cast your vote. Don't just say, oh, I support you, or I support this campaign, or I like this campaign. Translate that into either financial support, but more importantly, into getting on voting and calling the people that you know in Brooklyn Center so that they can make sure they come out and they can vote as well. Because look, it's simple, right? We all know the saying, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And it's true, because there's limited resources that the city has. Every year, the city has about $25 or so million that the city is going to spend.
Okay.
The question is, how are we spending that? The answer is the people who are sitting at the table. So if people coming to the table to divide your money, you don't want to send somebody there to sit down to that table,
watch how
they're dividing the money, and also so that person can say, okay, no, put some of that money over here. We were able to, for the first time in the city's history, in the OLM's history, actually fund one of the programs OLM does, which is the nurses training program.
Okay.
Training nurses in our community to people in our community become nurses, right? So we're doing things to help improve our community, but we cannot do that unless you come out and you vote. So the most important thing and the most important word that I can leave you with is that VOTE, and also EAR. How you spell early? EARLY. Early. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
My own schooling was in Swinton. That way you got that from. That's why I need a little bit of help sometimes. But come out and vote early. Start September 23rd. Be the first. Be in the numbers, and do not let yourself not vote.
All right, Mayor Mike Elliott, folks, right here with us, and we will be taking this break. When we come back, we will wrap it up on this edition of Diaspora Talk right here on KMTV, Liberia's best online television. Let's take this one.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion up right. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Staff, Senate, members of the press, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The special session of the legislature was summoned by the constitutional prerogative of the President of Liberia through a proclamation issued on August 9, 2022. In fulfillment of elections, we can say our our month of session mandates expected in with great success. Please permit me to summarize our conclusions on urgent national issues we deliberated on. First, the national census. We are pleased to inform you that, based on appeal of the President, the international community, and some of our citizens, we made a retrograde adjustment to the date of the conduct of the National Housing and Population Census from March 2023 to now commence on October 24 and end on November 7, 2022. Chief Justice, we recall that about 2 weeks ago, the President nominated Associate Justice Sian Yo to the Senate to replace the current Chief Justice, who is scheduled to retire in fulfillment of Article 72B of the Constitution of Liberia.
And I'll tell you, the President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, our chair there of Grand Crew County, they're talking about, you know, the special session they just ended today. We hope by Monday we can get a full, you know, detail of what are some of those things that it did over the period of the special session. But that's all. It was a fiery one with the mayor, and he left a message: get out and vote
Early.
early. Yeah. He tried to say that, let us get out and vote early. So on this note, we'll be wrapping up this edition of Diaspora Talk. I don't know what your wrap-up comment may be like.
Just to say that, just to wrap up what we talked about, President Weah is heading to the U.S. for the UN General Assembly. Representative Dennis is alleging Prince Johnson is after her life, and you know Prince Johnson is very influential in Liberia. We also look at the Senate. They closed today a couple of bills passed. The controversial bill among them is that let me just read a statement. The plenary of the Liberian Senate, in consultation with the House of Representatives, has reached a decision to ensure all elected officials in 2023, right, Senator representatives in 2023 and other subsequent elections be seated. It means if they elected them, they should be seated while awaiting outcome of electoral complaints against them. So that's a controversial bill. We discussed that on Monday. We'll go into it and inform our audience. So another thing, they amended the code of conduct, the issue of the 50% women participation in electoral processes, the electricity issues in Liberia. So we're also going to be looking at that. What are some of the amendments they did concerning the retirement?
Their controversial retirement package. So, folks, if you're there, this I would like to leave you on this edition of Diaspora Talk. We'll be back on Monday. It was a wonderful first week since we returned, and I want to say thanks to all of our viewers out there who, you know, chip in to either watch the entire show or view it at some point. I know a lot of people go back to, you know, view later. We say thanks to all of you. We've streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, also on KM Radio. So if you're there, search KM Radio. If you have an Android, you can download the app and also listen to, you know, KM Radio on the go. We're working on getting the ISO up. That's the iPhone or iPad app up as well. So very soon we will be on a full blast. But until Monday, when we catch you, I'd like to...
And let's say thanks to our sponsor who started so heavily.
Yeah, the Pack Liquor Outlet, owned by Liberians, Jackson George and his crew. The Infotech Computer Center there in Brooklyn Park. Sam Tucker, he's there making sure all of our computers...
It's right near the...
opposite the OLM in Brooklyn Park, and then the Transseal Bible Church of Pastor George Wallon is also associating with Diaspora Talk. We open up to all of you. You can bring up your business. Let's do it. Thanks to our man Victor Dubber, who's been making sure that we have all of the wonderful videos coming through in the background. And to all of you, thanks for being there. Have yourself
And our international technician,
Ronald Jackson, the CEO himself. We say thanks to you for all you do, all of your hard work in making sure we have all of the graphics and things we use. We're getting there little by little. We will get there. Until Monday, when we are back on Diaspora Talk, have yourself a God bless, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
the Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora's Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blend the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
And speak the truth on what is happening.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
About 90 years ago. That act grants 50% annuity to all former members of the legislature despite the number of years of service. Whether you serve only 2 years, 5 years, etc., it didn't matter. It is this act that the Senate intended to amend, modify, and make reasonable to establish obligation from 10%, 30%, and 50%, depending on the number of years of service, instead of the blanket 50% for everyone as contained in the 2003 Act. Earlier this week, the Senate extensively debated the implications of the existing and proposed pension laws and voted unanimously to appeal the 2003 law, which is still on the books, which is law of the land, and to take another look at the Senate's version, which contains far more economic austerity measures than the 2003 version. The Senate will likewise review existing pension laws pertaining to the civil service and other public services to accommodate changes in economic circumstances which have since occurred. Let me reiterate that as elders of the land, the Senate cannot and will never pass legislation detrimental to the interests of the very citizens they represent. Amendment to the Code of Conduct. The Conference Committee of both chambers have recommended the amendment of Section 5.2 of the Code of Conduct, which provides for the period of time for certain categories of employees of government to resign their positions in order to be eligible to contest for elected offices, and Section 10.2, which provides for the declaration of personal interest, income, abilities, and assets. The Senate plenary has accordingly voted today to to approve a period of not later than 12 months